Marty, it's the afternoon after the night before. How are you feeling?
We are a bit disappointed, of course. It was not the kind of performance that we wanted. So, a bit angry for the result, especially disappointed for the performance because we didn't play at the level that we wanted in a game that we had big expectations. But at the same time, we need to move on. We analyzed together this morning with the guys what were the things that didn't work, why it didn't work, what are the things that we need to do better in the next games. And yeah, I feel encouraged because even though we had a bad performance, I know that this team is capable to produce good results as we did before that game. So football is a little bit like this, emotions, a little bit of up and downs. We need to accept that we were not at the level that we wanted last game, but then move on and try to get better because that's the nature of a sport.
You talk about the analysis and why things didn't work. Why didn't things work last night?
It was a combination of things, definitely. Football is complex in the sense that there is always many reasons, many factors. The first one is that we started the game really well. The first 10 minutes, actually having good control. We created a good chance through Paul Smith. But then slowly we lost a little bit of the control we got. So we gave the opportunity to Stoke in the situation they were to believe a little bit more on their possibilities. And then we can see, two corners in a row that were perhaps one of the few chances they got during the whole game. The first one, Asmir had a decent save, and then just before the halftime, they got the goal in a corner that we should not have conceded. And actually, after as well, another chance that we got through Smithy. So it was a little bit of a game changer, this goal, because we knew that in a game like this, with emotions, with that kind of tension, the team that can score first take a massive advantage. And then we just tried to push in the second half, and we never got the flow. We never got the flow because the Stoke defended with a lot of players, very deep, very low. In the beginning, they were playing 5-3-2. They changed the formation for first time since the new manager came in. Then in the second half, it was a 5-4-1, even sitting deeper. So it was more difficult for us to break lines. And I'm disappointed that we couldn't create the chances. We missed a little bit the quality that in other games we got. We missed a little bit that last touch. And the game became very flat. It looked like we got a lot of possession, but possession without aggressivity to create chances, without the purpose to really put pressure on the opponent is very useless.
Including last night's result, from the bottom 9 teams, ourselves in Huddersfield have picked up the most points from the last 6 fixtures, 8 points. How important is it that not too much is placed on one disappointing night?
Crucial, massive, because I know that football is about emotions, but at the same time we need to be calm, and that's why I said when I arrived, we need to be angry when we lose football games, but the day after we need to analyze properly. And my sense of duty means that I'm in charge of let them understand to the guys, especially, that we have done enough good things over the last games to not now feel like everything was bad. Sometimes it's like this. Football is you play against an opponent that sometimes get the result they want. In that case, as I said before, my main focus usually is on the performances. I'm a bit disappointed because we didn't perform at the level we wanted. But then we need to bounce back. We show good enough things over the last few games that we can collect points, that we can get a new trend, and that's where my focus is, to make sure that we are positive enough, that we learn from the mistakes, that we learn from the things we didn't do well, but at the same time that we remember that we can compete well in this league and that we can collect points.
14 games to go. How do you keep the pressure off your players so that they can perform? Or do you invite that pressure?
I do think that we need to accept that we're in this situation, and I think we have been even before my arrival, so it's nothing new for the guys. I think we have been showing improvements over time, but we need to make sure that those improvements help us to really get out of the situation where we are. And now we are very aware that the main target for us is to play well. When you play well, you get the results. So just to focus on this anxiety on the result, we are very aware that good performances usually give you 3 points. That's why, for me, the most important is the identity, the way we play, that we make sure that we create chances, that we make sure that we don't concede chances, that we are dominant in the games. So that's why, for me, the main focus is always the pitch and the game. To just look at the table, it just creates this tension that probably doesn't help anyone. So I'm aware that everybody knows where we are on the table, but the most important is to make sure that we play a good football game against Bristol, because then we have more chances to collect the points that we need.
Bristol City have picked up back-to-back wins, including an impressive victory against Southampton midweek. They're 4 points off the playoffs. We're 4 points off safety. Do you expect it to be an open game where both sides are interested in 3 points rather than anything less?
Definitely. I think that the way both sides we play is always to chase the victory, to chase the 3 points. They are an aggressive team in the sense that they try to press really high, that they are very good at counter-pressing as well. When they lose the ball, they quickly react. So it's a lot of transitions in their game. I think that for us it's very important that we are very stable on the build-up game, that we know where we can really threat them. There are certain areas that we think that we can find and then really create the chances. We know that as well, we're a team that is good at when we don't have the ball, that we can be dangerous when we have transitions. So I think it's going to be definitely a good challenge for us. But at the same time, as I said before, I have trust in the players to understand that what we did in the last game was not good enough, and this should give us energy to face certainly a team that is doing really well.
Third game in a week. Does that mean there'll be squad rotation? It was noticeable that the players that you took off towards the latter stages against Stoke, was that potentially with Ashton Gate in mind?
Yeah, it's always a puzzle, right? We always need to evaluate how the players are feeling after the game, what kind of game we play. Sometimes there are games that are more demanding than others from a physical point of view. I think it's as well a moment of shape of the players, what we are looking. But definitely when it's a week like this with 3 games, we always try to zoom out and understand that it requires some fresh legs in some games. In the last game it was Smithy instead of Chrissy. It might be some changes if needed. So it's something that we evaluate every day with the staff, and then we take a decision before the game.
And very finally, there's a good crowd of QPR fans travelling up the M4 to support QPR. How keen are you for them to return with something to cheer?
Yeah, absolutely. Always big target for us, because I was very grateful to the supporters who came as well in the midweek, driving I think 150 miles to Stoke, and unfortunately we couldn't give them these 3 points. I know that the guys are very committed to try to give them back, because the support we are receiving in the last weeks, despite the situation we're on the table, the loyalty the fans are showing, it's massive, and we really feel that support. So we are really looking forward to not only to win because of the situation in the table, but as well to pay tribute to the effort that they are making.